Hello, I'm CJ Miller. I'm across the Red River from Bossier City in downtown Shreveport, Louisiana. Please do come check us out if you're passing through on your holidays. I'd love to give you some suggestions on some things that you could do that would be it would be befitting your stay. You'd enjoy it. So, what I have, I'm pulling out some phones because I've been writing for the past several months. Uh, and arranging poetry for a collection that I'm working on. That's going to be my first book. I'm putting a lot of care into it. It's going to be my first thing really that I'm releasing uh, for the market to be sold. And because of that, it's got to be uh, it can't just be something that I've thrown together. The work has to go into it, you know, which is fine because it's there. Um, and I'm working on arranging the pieces, bringing them into uh, a format that is poetic, and also bringing a continuity to the various segments. But I've gotten to a place where I've pulled from like one section several bits of poetry, uh, and to kind of bring a nuanced depth, some texture to the work. I'm going into these phones that I have never thrown out. Like some of these go back to early 4G phones. Uh, you know, I may even have one or two 3Gs. This is um, not very much was. This was this was I think there was a Cricket phone, and I did not stay with them very long. uh, I remember being with Cricket. I think maybe I joined them just to prove a point to the carrier that I was with at the time, Metro. I haven't really been with Metro in a lot of years. They changed, and I felt betrayed. But this one has a lot. It is an LG. I used to always gravitate to the same type of phone too. There's all sorts of bits in here. So just expressions, phrases, words, anything that I would hear that I felt that I wanted to look back on so I could draw inspiration from is what I put in here. Some of them are longer bits, longer pieces. Let's see, this right here is not quite, it's still working on charging. So we will let them do that. This was an Xfinity Mobile. Uh, the hell was I doing with an Xfinity Mobile? The phone that I have right now is an Xfinity Mobile. This must have been the first Xfinity Mobile that I had. I don't even know if it's still good. I don't know. If I could pull that up, if it's going to work, there's going to be some notes on that. I would have been keeping a lot of notes at the time. Uh, so I've got that there. I've got this here. So I've got two that are good. One's probably good. We just have to get it turned on. Um, the title of the book, Dancing on the Lifeline. I knew that's what it was going to be when I was I wrote it when I was in my early 20s, probably 22, 23 years old. I wrote the poem that inspired the title of this collection. Um, and it's just kind of like, yeah, it was just poetry that I've written for as long as for far back that I could write and as much as I could recall. That's what's going to be in this collection. And, and so I'm modernizing it. Some of the works because they're a little out because they're up like from the uh, yes, from last century. Can you imagine it? They're not centuries old, but they are pre-millennium. Actually, yeah, from the last millennium. Yeah, holy cow. Anyway, um, how fun is that, right? So, because the things technology and information comes at us a lot faster. And so the style of my writing from the time I was a teenager in my early adulthood will have greatly changed. Certainly, the way that I speak or I address things uh, in casual conversation is definitely changed. I'm a different person. So the way so it's kind of cool to be able to go back and revisit all that. Okay, so I don't know what's going on with this, why it's stuck on stupid. Maybe it just needs to charge more. Some of the phones will require some charging, but whatever. Probably not even check. Maybe I took the SIM out or something like that. The phone's on, not too much. This is probably not going to give me much. There's a crack on the screen, and there's a crack on this other screen. I'll set them aside. I don't even know. Look how dusty this thing is. It's an LG, probably from Metro or T-Mobile or something like that. Hang on. Well, it's charging now. I can tell you this is a tiny, tiny phone. The case is cracked. It's probably where some of the dust has come from because I've actually kept it in this bag. So I'd love to be able to get enough of a phone uh, charge on this thing that hmm. Many of these phones will be working and they'll be viable. Some of them won't be, and that's a shame. Yeah, but perhaps I could remove the SIM card from them and try them in the other phones. If there's any notes or anything saved to the SIM card, I think most of them though would be saved to the internal memory. So I don't know, but I'm excited for it. And something else that I want to do after this phase, I'm going to be saving up. Uh, I have a goal for next year, and I'm saving to meet that goal. And it's going to be an opportunity for even new inspiration. So it would be from that inspiration that I also want to add into this collection. So it would be like there'll be thoughts and expressions uh, from a childhood point of view that was sometimes blissfully innocent and sometimes uh, harshly challenged, and that's, true. And then there'll be some things from my, young adulthood leading up into, in my most idealistic things, the kind of things that go on with that. Even as not just from my point of view, but even as written as other characters, in trying to, in that point, trying to find empathy with other people, other walks of life. Because what I wanted to do largely during that time was I wanted to be empathized with. I wanted not sympathy, not pity. I just wanted people to be able to understand me. I wanted to be able to communicate with some efficiency and uh, in a prolific context, and who doesn't want to have some sort of relevance anytime, even the rebel, even the punk rocker wants to be they want their voice to be heard. um, Boy, am I glad. Yeah, this one's gonna work. This just needs to charge, but uh, yeah. um, See, I know that if I try to play into something and there's no there's no response from the device, even such as battery empty, plug in, charge it for a few minutes, and this kind of stuff. Even if there's no response to what's going on those devices, I know that I know that if there's no response, I know they're dead. But if there's something like this going on, I know they're going to charge, and that's cool. And they'll go into a pile of phones to keep, you know. And I'm so excited, so excited because also what I meant to continue on, in the next year, I'm gonna give kind of a few bits of pieces in which I feel I have evolved into the mentality of. Uh, not someone just walking through life and observing life and talking about life, but from a more um, artistic point of view. That's to say, a free forming point of view. Uh, Whereas I used to sometimes be conscious when I was writing, and I would like self-center or self-censor anything I was going to show to somebody else. That's not what I would care about today. Today, I would write about whatever I want to write about, and I would share it because it's even just a reflection of life. It's not necessarily a true fact. Even if something a thought is not a tangible reality and doesn't have to be a threat to anyone anywhere, and I would not self censor. Uh, and I've never been someone to be like gratuitous with vulgarity just for the point of it, or to just go out for shock just for the hell of it. That's, anything that I say or do, I really try to come from. I really try to bring it uh, from a sincere part of my being, especially when it comes to my writing, even the fictionalized kind of stuff. I try to bring, I try to bring it honestly, and I try to let the story go where it wants to go, or I let the song be what it wants to be, or I let the, uh, you know, poem, you know, be as free forming as it wants to be, or as tightly uh, organized as it wants to be. you know I just kind of go with that emotion, and I don't necessarily follow the rules of literature when I write. And I feel like, what, if you just write something out perfectly, and it's just all that, then it's like, wow, this really looks formulary. And that's kind of what I want to it's kind of what I want to it's kind of what I want to break away from. So okay. uh, I'm going to have fun with this for a while. Love and light. Peace to you all. Good night.